amazing gifts that you can give to yourself are mindsets and lifestyle changes and being able to think differently. Once you find something that just clicks in your mind and you know that it works for you, you know that it is compatible with the way that your brain works and how you want to see the world, it is a gift. It really is an amazing gift that you can give to yourself. And one of the gifts that I've given to myself is teaching myself the ability to reassure myself. Imagine a situation where you can handle your issues differently, how you wouldn't need to be so codependent on your partner, on your family member, on your best friend. And now, with a more balanced way of thinking, when it comes to doubt, when it comes to issues, you're more honest with yourself. You trust yourself emotionally. You know that you will be okay. Despite this, despite that, I'm gonna go through it. Reassurance is the understanding of self, how you function, how you think, and being okay with that, working with it. From your own eyes, you finally feel seen, you feel validated, you feel accepted, and you feel loved. And overall, the benefit of learning to reassure yourself is definitely you become much more happy with yourself, with what you are, for what is. Some things we can't change, some things come with acceptance. But how do you learn? How do you learn to reassure yourself? What you consume, it actually matters. Your environment that you're in physically, in your room, outside of your room, the people around you, it actually matters. Over time, you'll definitely see things for what it is. Example for me is how I've always heard that, music, what you consume in music, that shit matters. I used to be into like hood rap. It was more of the beat. That said, of course, I wasn't paying attention, and hood rap it is very lyrical, and it is very like hard, and can be very violent. And some people are just saying shit, and you just don't even pay attention because the beat is so good. And over time, obviously, my music taste has shifted, and I have consumed more chill vibes, more reggae music. Reggae versus hard rap is such a drastic difference. The beat in reggae is still amazing, like it still tickles my brain, but it definitely is different, and it definitely gives off a different vibe compared to YB and Youngboy. I do want to bring up the example of social media. With people's attention spans and all that, and everyone is like scrolling very mindlessly, or even if they do tend to watch things more often, like sometimes people's brains are just like half off. Let's be real. I've been there. I've seen that in real time from just peeking over strangers like shoulders and shit, and with my friends. And obviously, there's nothing wrong with looking and consuming content, but you definitely have to be more intentional and pay attention to what is actually coming up, you know, especially with AI, with these random like animations that are just really stupid. I could use a better word, but it's just stupid. And that leads to brain rot. It might initially seem very silly and very funny memes to just send to your friends, like, oh my god, relatable. But no, bitch. You're consuming AI memes. That's a bit weird. That's a bit weird, girl. And that's touching brain rot, let's be honest. Why is it brain rot? You know what? I'm not going to say anymore. I'm not going to say anything else. But there is brain rot in literally every single genre. It's all just different fonts. I can't tell you exactly what brain rot is, but when you know, you know. But to that, pay attention. Pay attention to your surroundings. Be more intentional with what you're watching, what you're listening to. I'm not saying go watch this specific person, because what you like is very different to what I like. So I can't tell you the answers. things that you consume, because with this generation now, and not even generation, but just everyone now, we are in an economy where we are consuming more than we are creating, that we are producing. You know, we are the audience. We are getting marketed to every single fucking day. You see an ad every single day on the cars, on the buses, on your phone. It's scary out there, girl. So really pay attention. That is followed up by pay attention to the people around you. Pay attention to how your friends talk, how your friends treat you, especially with like achievements. How do they congratulate you? Do they even congratulate you? Even for the smallest things, which could mean the biggest thing to you at this moment in time, are they there for you? Are they celebrating with you? There is nothing wrong with wanting your friends to congratulate you and that they see you. If you don't get that at all, red flag. Pay attention to the self. Awareness, being present is very important for you to get a better understanding of what you are, who you are, to your thoughts, how you feel, how your body feels in certain situations. If your friend is experiencing an achievement, do you feel inspired? Do you feel envious? Do you feel jealousy? If you want to change, you need to figure out what parts of yourself are changeable. Some things, for like, let's say, I don't know, ADHD, you can't change that shit. You have to work with it. But for the things that you can change, you need to figure out its root. And again, this could look different for many other people, but it is always a step that you have to take. It doesn't even have to be in the journey of reassurance, but paying attention to the self is game changing. If you hate yourself, you have to figure out why. You have to look at the ugly parts on why you dislike yourself, on how you are always feeling so insecure. Why? Question yourself. Challenge yourself. I know it's a bit tedious and I know it's a bit difficult to even just face that, to even ask that question of like, and confront yourself that, oh my God, I'm insecure. But that is the process, girl. You want to be secure in a relationship, you want to be secure within yourself so you can even enter a relationship. Figure that out first. For any problem that you have in your life and you just keep avoiding it, it's going to come back, and it's going to come back tenfold to the point where it sent me to therapy. Observe. What it means to observe is to simply listen. For some people, are you actually listening, or are you just letting those voices go in and out your ear with no second thought behind it because you're just allowing it to happen at that point? We want it to stop. But if we want it to stop, you can't just let it keep going like this, girl. There has to be a point where you stand here and you're just observing these thoughts. Eventually, you see patterns, and that gives you a guideline and brings you closer to what the root cause is. You know, why am I so sad? Like, why am I not still fulfilled, even though I have everything that I should be grateful for? An important thing is to not hold judgment. Meditation. Some people don't like the idea of meditation. They don't get it. They feel like they can't do it or it's not for them. Meditation is for everybody. Meditation is for everybody because when you sit in silence with your thoughts, you do this process of observing of what is coming in and out. You don't hold judgment. You don't say anything. Then you allow your mind to clear out. And then it happens again. That is the whole point of meditation. The whole point of meditation, for it to even be initiated, is to have thoughts to reflect on, to observe on. And that is followed up by a state of calmness.
The reality is it's really messy because you focus on your breath and within a few seconds you're thinking about shopping lists or food or sex or anything. You know, the mind just goes. That's when the work starts. Because at some point you realize your mind has wandered. Okay, that's when many people think they've failed. They were meditating, they were with the breath, and then they realize they're thinking about emails they need to write or shopping or whatever. And then they think, oh, I'm a failure, and they very angrily bring themselves back to the breath. That's just going to make you more stressed because you're actually training in feeling like a failure. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not that at all. It's that you're with the breath, and then your mind wanders. It's not even that you see your mind wandering. You kind of find out afterwards, don't you? Mm-hmm. It's not like I'm with the breath and I can see my mind step away from the breath and then go to a thought. It's more that I'm with my breath, I pass out, and I wake up the other side of town.
Yeah.
That is the meditation, waking up inside your thoughts. That is the definition of meditation. So you haven't failed at all. You are meditating, because what happened was you were with the breath, you got lost, you lost your mind, and then you found your mind again. Because you're back, you suddenly realize, oh, where was I? I'm supposed to be meditating. So that is meditation. You're back with your awareness. And then you gently bring yourself back to the breath. And actually all you're doing is those three things throughout the session. Either you're with the breath, or you're noticing that you got lost, or you're returning. And it's that returning that makes you strong. Every time you return to the breath, you are making a very powerful decision. That's the attachment or the addiction to the thoughts. The mind was lost in those thoughts, and you are recapturing your attention and bringing it back. So you are choosing where to send your mind. And if you do this like an exercise, almost like going to the gym and getting strong day after day, week after week, you're teaching yourself how to choose to be happy and how to choose not to suffer.
Everything is temporary. In this world, everything is temporary. Feelings, emotions, situations, they are all temporary. Challenge your thoughts also means replacing words or sentences with more balanced and self-validating thoughts. Example is, let's say my friend is feeling overwhelmed, they have a bit of anxiety to produce a speech for a uni course. What they're missing is that this speech that they are speaking about, they are so passionate about it. They know what they're talking about. Some people are just doing it for the grade. For you, it's a passion. Challenge their thoughts of thinking otherwise. What if? And these are not bad what ifs. This is rational what ifs. These are more self-validating what ifs. Another way to challenge this is to remind yourself of previous situations where you have been successful. You've done this before. You were nervous as fuck the last time, but you did really good. Though numbers don't matter, you got an amazing grade, and they actually commented on your performance, on how you were speaking so fluently about the topic that you were talking about. And that's amazing. If you can do that then, you can do it again. And shit, maybe you could do it even better. Comparison, but it's a good in comparison. You really have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to be there for yourself before anyone else will. I have personally been in a situation where I was very reliant on my emotions, on like partners and stuff. And when it came to trying to look after myself when they weren't available, it went very poorly. Now I'm in a more healthier state of mind where I try my best to reassure myself that I will be okay, but sometimes there is a third party needed to for extra reassurance, right? But the the point is that I didn't instantly go to my partner for help. I tried my best. I really tried my best to affirm to myself and tell myself that I'm okay. Something that comes out often when I speak to people is the relationship example. I do believe that if you are not able to provide for yourself, and provide is whatever that looks like to you, if you are not able to provide self love to yourself, what makes you think that you're going to be a good partner to someone? What makes you think that you can love someone to the best of your ability if you don't even know how to give it to the person that you are with every single fucking day? Of course, you can learn that with another person, but you can't do that with a second person. It is not a two-person job. It is being with the self, it is being alone, it is being with your thoughts, with the positives, with the negatives. You are with yourself every single day. You have to build a relationship with your whole ass soul. If you are the type of person who is a natural giver, who wants to love, who wants to be in a relationship, you can't do that if you don't have the ability to give to yourself first. Love is a cycle of giving and receiving. You can love someone, but when it comes down to your own issues, it's going to leak into your relationship. Words hold power. Words of affirmation are really your best friend. Writing it down if it's hard to physically say it, because I feel you on that. I feel you. Consuming videos where people are talking positive about themselves, not in an egotistical way. Consuming videos that are more kinder, whatever that looks like, more lighthearted. Words of affirmation are game changing, but you won't know until you try. But it's one of those things where it's like, do I believe this? Like, does that really work? Oh, bitch, it works. It really does work. It definitely is a thing where it's a long term lifestyle change to speak kinder to yourself, to love yourself, to pay attention to those ugly thoughts when they do come up. Oh, I should have moved my camera here. But thank you for sticking around. I hope you take something from this little video of what I learned from learning to reassure myself. If you can feel good inside, it will be reflected and radiated into your outside world. Because that's just the frequency you're on now. Let's be honest. Again, if you talk shit, what are you going to expect? What do you expect? You think some people are just going to be nice to you? You're going to be lucky if people are nice to you. Just saying. All right, anyways, I will see you guys next time. Ta ta!